You might be wondering, why should you have a strategic session before starting to develop your learning content? Well, first, let me tell you a bit more about what our strategic session consists of. In the first part, we'll define together who your learning customers are. Why is this important? Well, learning for a techie PLM system administrator isn't quite the same as it is for an IT executive. Everybody processes information differently. We'll help you define who your main user group are and what are their learning needs. To show you what I mean, let's pretend you're a cloud PLM software provider. Some of your potential customers, your leads, have never tried your application. They need to understand what they will get if they purchase it. Your paying customers have already subscribed to your product. They need to help the user get up and running with the new system. And they also need to train their system administrator, the one configuring and managing the application behind the scenes. In this case, we'll break your learning customer down into those three groups. Once we've established the main learner group, we can go to the second phase of the workshop, detailing your PLM learning categories. To find out which learning category will best be suited for your need, we will brainstorm together. All right, let's think about at least 4 categories we can use to tag your content. For example, we could look at the information from a role perspective: R&D engineer, product managers, sales manager. Or we could also define process as category: product development, sales, manufacturing. Or what about using PLM capabilities as a way to categorize our content: product portfolio, product design. And finally, another idea will be to tag our content according to the corporate system involved, for example, CRM, CAD, or PDM. Once we establish the learner and the categories, we can go to our next phase, building your learning structure. A typical learning structure starts with a learning path. A learning path is a group of courses that allow us to master a topic in small steps. Courses are made of several lessons, and the content often can be reused in several learning paths. Learning paths work well for PLM because they help people absorb a lot of information while providing flow and structure. Using the learning category we have previously identified, we'll define the learning path. For example, we could select role as the main category to come up with our learning path. In this case, we'll have paths such as becoming a product manager, or a day in the life of a sales manager, or customer support foundation. All right, now that we have our learning structure defined, we can go to the last phase of our session, creating a plan. Once we're clear on what content matters the most, we can go ahead and create an action plan. This will help us set our sights in the right direction and guide us as we move things forward. We will determine which content we'll work on weekly and monthly basis. And rather than working on an overly long-term plan, we'll break those long-term goals down and focus on multiple short-term ways to reach the goal. All right, now let's see a real case example we did for one of our customers, Autotech. We were asked by Autotech to help them organize and digitalize their learning content. The first thing we did for them was building a homepage in which learners could find general information about what PLM means to them, how to get support, and who is involved in the PLM process. They can also find information on release. They have a glossary of terms, and also more information on the information flow that represent how systems are connected. They can also find information on document management. Finally, during our strategy session with Autotech, we came to the conclusion that the best way to organize their learning material was by following a per business model structure. So we divided it into 3 main categories: plants, equipment DMS, and equipment. Then in each categories, we decided to drill down to a business process level. This decision was made after identifying the main learners group. So in this case, the 3 main learner group are the product designer, which are going to use the DPT business process. Then we have the delivery engineer that use DelSol. And finally, we have the service engineer that are going to be using DelSol. And as you can see, there is a process flow that follow a logical order. And Autotech wanted to use this structure to make sure that every learner understand how they fit in the process, and as well understand where the endover points are between different learner groups. So when it goes from one color to another, the learners can understand that there is a transition here. As per most of our clients, it can take a long time to digitalize all of the content. So what we do is that we often take an hybrid approach so that customer can digitalize the content to their own pace. So in Autotech case, we have digitalized some of the course, but some other courses are still in PowerPoint form. So for example, here, the user click in the little square and it is taken, or she's taken, to a PowerPoint course where they can just go through it and learn what is needed. Now let's see an example of a course that we did for Autotech in which we digitalized the course. In this course, as you can see, we have digitalized it fully, and the course is composed of several lessons, and the user can take the course and go easily through every lesson. Let's see how it looks like from inside. So every course is very interactive. It's very design and aesthetic, and we can use very different kind of media in it. So here, for example, the user can click on the icon to get more information. Here we can see at the end there is an interactive table, and the user can click on the different categories to find out more about each categories. And so we can also add quiz, and we can add videos and different kind of graphics. And so that's how a typical end result course will look like. And eventually, all the PowerPoint course that Autotech has currently hosted on their website will be converted into one of those online courses. So to finish this video, what will you get after a strategy session? So we'll provide you with a strategic report where there will be our finding and recommendation, as well as a project plan to make sure that the learning strategy succeed. We'll give you a recommended PLM learning path, as well as a library structure mockup, as you can see for the Autotech example. And you will also get an internal marketing guidance. And finally, we will also give you learning management system recommendation if you need so. So we hope that this video helped you understand a bit more about our strategic session, what they consist of, and what the end results are. Thank you very much for listening, and please don't hesitate to ask us if you have any questions.